Hello, I'm Rebecca Flaherty and we're back again making another fun geometric pattern in Procreate. We're going to be making this cool square, diamond, triangle pattern here. You don't need to do any drawing to make this pattern. We're going to be doing it all with simple shapes and we're not even going to use the brush. If you're familiar with Procreate, know how repeat patterns work and familiar with things like snapping, this should be an easy tutorial to follow along with, as long as you follow along step by step. But if you are new to patterns in Procreate, you might find it a bit trickier, but if you follow along, I promise you will have an identical pattern to me at the end. I'd suggest watching the video all the way through to start with, so that you know what we're going for, and then watching it a second time and following along step by step and pausing it to make the pattern along with me. So we're going to start with a 12-inch canvas here, as always, 12 inches square at 300 dpi, and I am going to tap and fill my layer with my first colour. I'm going to tap to transform, and I'm going to snap this. So I've got snapping and magnetics on and all the way up. I'm going to snap this over to the side there, and then we've got a rectangle which is exactly half of the canvas width. Then I'm going to tap to transform, and I'm going to centre it on the canvas like that. I'm going to duplicate it, tap to transform, and I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. So we've now got this cross on the canvas. Now I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to fill this one with green. I'm going to tap to transform, I'm going to rotate it 45 degrees, and I'm going to tap fit to canvas, and then tap up here to set that. Now I'm going to add another layer above that. I'm going to fill this one with white. Tap to transform, I'm going to snap this up into the top corner there. So I'm going to drag this up to there until that says 1800 pixels, and then I'm going to center this on the canvas. So this square here, we know the width and height of that is 1800 pixels because we just had it snapped up to there. So I'm going to duplicate this one, I'm going to alpha lock it, and I'm going to fill it with pink. I'm going to tap to transform, rotate it 45 degrees, and then I'm going to tap to set that. I'm going to tap it again, tap on this node, and then I'm going to make the width and height 1800 pixels, and then center that on the canvas. I'm going to duplicate it, tap to transform, and drag it over here into this corner and snap it into that corner there. Now I've got this triangle, so I'm going to fill that with green, and then center this in the middle there. And if we zoom in, you can see all of this is nicely lined up. So then I'm going to duplicate this, I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees and snap that to that part of the canvas as well. Zoom in, and that's all nicely lined up still. I'm going to take this pink diamond here again, duplicate that, and snap that one up there into that corner. I'm going to duplicate the middle diamond again and snap that into that corner. Duplicate that middle diamond again and snap this one down into that corner, and then repeat that again for this corner here. Cool thing about working with shapes like this is you don't even have to follow along with the exact pattern that I'm doing. Now you've got the idea of how you can snap to create matching triangles and squares and rotate things. You can take this in any kind of direction you want and come up with your own designs like this. So now I'm going to take one of these pink triangles on the edge, I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm going to make this one green. Tap to transform, and I'm going to just snap that up into the corner there so we get an even smaller triangle, always making sure that that's snapped properly into the corner. And then we can duplicate that one, flip it horizontally, and snap that over to this side. Then I'm going to pinch to merge those two together. I'm going to duplicate those, tap to transform, and I'm going to drag them down to there. Duplicate this bottom one again, flip it vertically, and snap it to the bottom. Duplicate that bottom one again, flip it vertically again, and then snap that one into place there. Then this bottom one here, I'm going to duplicate that and bring that over and snap it into that spot there. And keep zooming in to make sure that everything is all lined up properly. And then I'm going to do the same on the bottom, so it's just a case of finding that one, so that one there, duplicate that, and we'll snap that one over to there. And then I'm going to do the same with these ones onto that side. So this one, duplicate and snap over to there. And this one, I'll duplicate and snap over to there. So you could kind of keep going in so many different directions here, kind of just cutting the shapes in half and then snapping them into various parts of the canvas. I'm going to leave that there. I think we've done enough for this one, and probably everyone's brains are hurting at the moment. What I'm going to do is now copy this whole canvas and we can see how it's looking in Repeat. So put all these in a group so I can tidy things up a bit. There we go. So I can swipe to copy all, then swipe down and paste. I'm going to turn the group off now. See how this is looking in Repeat. So we can drag it up into the middle there. Duplicate that and snap it over. Zoom into the middle here to make sure that those are all lined up nicely and that there's no gaps down there. It's all looking good so far. Pinch those two together, duplicate, and then snap that one down at the bottom. And again, just zoom in to make sure that that's all lined up nicely. And that is our pattern in Repeat. You can keep making this infinitely smaller. Well, maybe not infinitely, but we could certainly do it one more time. Let's snap this up to the middle again, duplicate and bring that over there, pinch those two together, duplicate and bring that down there. So that is our finished pattern in Repeat. And as you can see, there's just endless ways you can combine these triangles by rotating them, snapping them to the edges, cutting them off at different angles to use in other parts of the pattern. Just make sure you always have snapping and magnetics on and that you're always zooming in and checking to make sure that everything's lined up. I hope you've enjoyed watching this tutorial and that it hasn't confused you too much. Don't forget you can always watch it again, slow it down, and there's also full subtitles with this so that you can pause it and see what I'm saying on screen at the same time. If you have a go at making this pattern or make any variations of it, don't forget to share your patterns on Instagram so I can see them. Tag me at Becky Flaherty. If you want to see more from me, don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube for pattern tutorials like this every single week. You can find more of my artwork on Instagram, and if you want to see more in-depth courses from me, you can find those over on Skillshare. If you're not already on Skillshare and you sign up using the link below, you'll get 30 days for free. Have fun, stay creative, and I will see you next time.